failed. Hello guys, welcome back to another live stream and hope you enjoyed this live stream. Subscribe and like now, of course. Match day week 25 then was this week. Premier League roundup then. So of course Aston Villa got back to winning ways. Arsenal and Manchester City have won. So in the title race, of course Leeds United picked up a big 3 points against Southampton. Southampton lose yet again. Everton lost. Of course, yeah, Leicester lost, of course, so it's big going down. Of course, West Ham won as well, so it's a tough week. But yeah, right, we're joined with two guests today. First one is Manny. You know, Manny.
All good, Bailey. All good. Good to be here on another stream with you, and I'm really happy to see you doing a lot more stuff. And happy to keep coming on. Thank you for inviting me.
It's fine. And Luca.
Big up, man. Thank you very much for inviting me on for another week.
No, of course I haven't. We've been live for a week now, and I haven't been doing anything on my main channel. I'm sorry for that, but I did make a match reaction this morning on my main channel, so go and watch that. So of course, let's get into the first game then. On Friday night, it was Fulham 1, Wolves 1. Then, I watched this game. To be fair, I think Wolves was a better team in the first half. I really do. I think there was all over Fulham, and there was 1-0 up at half time. But then Fulham was all over Wolves in the second half, and it ended draw 1-1. I did back Fulham before again to win 2-0. But Wolves, a 1-1 draw is good. We'll get on to Manny first. What do you think of this game?
Yeah, it was surprising for me because I actually predicted that Fulham would win because they were sort of riding the crest of a decent wave of form, and Wolves were sort of struggling. I think it's fair to say that with recent results, aside of course from the home loss to Bournemouth going in their favour, they seem to be just about doing enough to possibly stay up, but they're still not quite out of the woods with about 14 games left, and. Yeah, I think it's fair to say this is one of those games which sort of proves that as well as Fulham do, they might struggle when it comes to the business end of really finishing a campaign strongly, because these are games where they would be expected to, be able to break down the opposition and just try and, get to grips with everything. And it was a strange sort of game, but I think Wolves showed their fighting spirit. Maybe in retrospect, 1-1 would be a fair result, but Fulham should look at this as 2 points dropped, and I think they're also going to have to realise that they've got to do a lot more in terms of trying to, really wrest initiative and convert their dominance into actual goals in a way. If they're too dependent on Mitrovic, for instance, then it's going to be a bit of a problem, especially given that they are used to playing with one striker up front. But if that striker doesn't score off too often, then that could be a problem, and that will segue into the Aston Villa game, about which we will definitely talk.
Yeah, Luca.
For me, I watched the game on Friday, and I don't even think Fulham weren't up their best this Friday. Whether people might disagree with me or not, I just felt like it was a great point for Wolves. Of course, Wolves did take the lead, and they're trying to battle for survival and get as many points as they can. I think Fulham didn't play really, really well, but they scored a very, very good goal, in my opinion. And they're still in the top six. And Marco Silva may have got a lot of criticism over the years, where he's been at people like Everton, he's managing the Championship, and when he first got a job at Fulham, I actually thought Fulham, and don't forget Bailey, we did our predictions at the start of the season, and how much I would say I did predict Fulham to get relegated, I think, and Fulham for me have done absolutely fantastic this season. They had a good start to the season. They gave us a tough game at the Emirates when we beat them 2-1, and we still have to play them in a couple of weeks at Craven Cottage. So, yeah, I think they're still in a decent position. I think if they can get top six, I think it's a fantastic season. They'll get some European football to add to their name and pedigree. They'll get a bit of money, and yeah, I just felt Friday's game 1-1, one of those games where you just want to get out of it. And yeah, they might be disappointed because they equalised and there was enough time to win the game, but Nah, it's okay. As long as Fulham can finish in the top 6, top half, it's a good season for Fulham and try and get European football.
Yeah, the only thing
Absolutely.
though, I think they had to win this game because if you see their next 3 games in the Premier League, they've got Brentford away. That's tough. Brentford are on fire. They've got Arsenal, of course. Arsenal, of course, on fire as well. Then they've got Liverpool away. Well, again, Liverpool are on good form now, so it's 3
Yeah.
big games. So I think they had to win this, but and after them 3 games, they've got probably easy games: Bournemouth, West Ham, Everton, Leeds. Would you count Villa as a easy? I wouldn't say yes, but yeah. Then yeah, so they're probably if they get a draw that in all of their next 3, then they should be winning their next 4 after big games. But yeah,
Yeah, I'll be very
so
interested to see the Liverpool Aston Villa game. The Salah, Digne, or Moreno duel will be very interesting. I mean, which one of those left backs will Emery pick to try and counter Mohamed Salah will remain to be seen.
No, I just look at it, that game when Fulham play Aston Villa. I think that's going to be a very interesting game because you got our Villa in good form. They're a bit of mixture. They're a bit like Leicester, just a bit in between. They're just a bit mixture. And what? How many points are you from Conference League? 7th, like 4 points.
I think it's 4 points.
Yeah, so you're 4 points behind. The way Chelsea are playing at the moment, and they could potentially.
We're actually 5 points.
Right, you're 5 points behind. Right, it's all it is 2 games.
Yeah.
Like, I think you'll finish maybe around 11th, 12th, around that season. I don't think you'll get Europe this season. Emery, of course. When did Emery come? Did he come January or did he come during the January transfer window?
I think he came January.
Yeah, so Emery hasn't had a proper transfer window. So technically, I think if you give Emery a summer window, because when he was at Arsenal,
got Super Emery. Exactly, that's what we need.
when he was at Arsenal,
Yeah.
when he was at Arsenal, he apparently he was only being told to give him 50 million to spend. But however, Emery only brought. I think
we
it
get
was.
on to the next game, of course. It
Yeah,
is
go on, then we'll leave it as that. Yeah, go on.
Everton 0, of course. Aston Villa 2. Of course, my team winning. We're back on winning ways. Everton fans coming before a game. Oh, we're gonna batter you today. We're gonna beat you. Oh yeah, we're staying up, lads. Where are you now? Because Aston Villa are the mighty Clarets. Everton have never beat Aston Villa. You said you were going to beat us for your first time. You said Emi Bundia is not scoring because he always scores past you. And look what happened, lads. 2-0 win away at Everton. Clarets, pyros, scenes, because we're the best fans in English football. Well, one of the best. About a third best fans in English football. And yeah, a class 2-0 win. 5 points behind 7th now. We're about, what? We're 8 points behind 6th. 10 points behind 5th. Lads, we're coming for Europa League because we are going to get it. But a class win for Aston Villa, of course. I'm going to do my Aston Villa ratings, of course. You both can join in if you want. But yeah, after. But of course, Emi Martinez, he picked up another yellow card yet again.
Yeah.
But I really hate when he time wastes. I'm sorry, it makes Villa fans mad because when Leon Bailey is on attack, no one is on him. Martinez slows down. Just be like Alisson and kick it up to him. That's what you have to do as a goalkeeper. You don't time waste in the 70th minute when you're only 1 goal up. But yeah, of course, Emi Martinez made a couple of good saves, to be fair. I'm going to give him 7.5. He is absolutely a class goalkeeper, and I'm glad that we took him off you. I don't know why you sold him. What do you think, Manny? Why did you sell him, man?
First of all, I'd actually give him an 8 because one of those saves from I think it was Onana was a reflex save. He tipped it over the bar, top class, and he deserves an 8. And one of the reasons why I absolutely like him is because when you take a look at his all-round play, I mean, it's very easy for people to sort of criticize him as a glorified penalty expert, but in actuality, he is one of the best goalkeepers in the league when it comes to claiming corners and high balls. 6'5", big bucket hands, very confident when claiming for these things. I've never seen him flap at a corner. I've seldom, if ever, seen him fail to collect anything. And he also makes himself exceptionally big on one-on-ones. I remember, he pulled off a save in a home win. I don't know which team that was. I think it was Leeds, yeah? So that particular save, he showed absolute brilliant I
Was
think,
it that one when Leeds sweated it, and it was a save from Martinez?
Yeah, because what happened was I think he had to run from the other side because he knew that one of the guys was sort of trying to volley it in, and it was on the volley, but Martinez ended up getting into the right position at the right time, made a fantastic save. It doesn't look glamorous like the Ramsdale save against Leicester last season, but sometimes the best saves have so much, technicality about them, but they also have a lot of simplicity. To me, he's the complete old school package, and he reminds me so much of David Seaman when he was in his pomp for us and also for England. And I didn't want to see him sold. The problem was Arteta was only really willing to give him a 95% guarantee that he would start the season after the FA Cup win as number one, when he deserved 100% guarantee. A 95% guarantee meant that he still didn't really rate him. He felt as though he had to back Bernd Leno, who was doing well, but who was starting to make a few poor errors. I was of the opinion that, given it wasn't even just for a short 3-game spell, he came in during the final stretch when we needed to have some bigger performances to have a recovery, when we needed to do as well as we could in the FA Cup. We ended up winning, and Martinez was terrific in the FA Cup games he played. He was also the first choice during our Europa League campaign that season before Arteta brought Leno back, and Leno made that error against Olympiacos, which sent us out. I just thought that Martinez was the better all-round goalkeeper, and I wanted him to stay, but Arteta simply didn't have as much confidence in him as Martinez would like. And so when you lot made the £20 million offer, when Dean Smith was still your manager, Arsenal obviously thought 20 million quid for a bit part player who had a terrific end to the last season, but who didn't play enough for us, who might have always had potential and showed it during the Champions League games he played for us and during preseason. He just never got as many opportunities. Why should we keep him and run the risk of him possibly moaning or sulking? But I would say that he was right to leave. And any Arsenal fans who have the temerity to just mug him off saying he's a tosser because he didn't have the confidence to stay and fight for his place, he is just a glorified penalty expert. His World Cup win means nothing, and still continuing to sarcastically thank him for that own goal he scored for us in that 2-4 win, which was unlucky. It was not his fault at all. I think Arsenal fans are just bitter at the success he's earned away, and still there are. And they can say what they want about Ramsdale, but Ramsdale simply isn't in Martinez's league.
Arsenal fans here piping up saying, he ain't a good keeper here, and he left for you for a bigger club here. Emi Martinez here has left you for a bigger...
You're not a bigger club than us, son. You might have won a European Cup, but how many league titles have you won? And this is where I don't like getting into banter, but let's keep it respectful.
Joking, but I don't know why. I don't know why Arsenal fans are just going mad about him, saying he left us. He is a tosser. All that. He is a class goalkeeper, and all Arsenal fans at Villa Park always boo him when he's on the ball. Why do you boo him? Like, come on, he was probably... He did play a couple of games for you, and he probably was good. And you wanted him to start over Leno. But
Arteta didn't. That's the problem. Luca, maybe you can come in.
Look, for me, what's this about the Martinez situation and Leno situation?
Yeah.
Look, for me, Villa are a European club, but they're not a bigger club than Arsenal. right? And for me, right, yes, Arsenal haven't won a European Cup with the same what Villa won, but the trouble is, the way I look at it right now, between the when Martinez left, right, and when Arsenal won the FA Cup in 2020, right, we had this debate. Oh yeah, Leno was out injured in that Brighton game when the fans started coming back, right? Or well, actually they didn't come back, but when they restarted the game because during the COVID, right? And for me, look, Martinez came in, had a short period, done absolutely fantastic well, won us the FA Cup, won us the cup, and we all wanted Martinez to stay. But what Manny said was absolutely right at the beginning of the stream, right? Was Martinez did his right thing and he was cool and he wanted to go and get his first team football, which is absolutely fantastic and showed good sportsmanship. But to me, look, Martinez and Ramsdale, who is the better goalkeeper? You've got to say Martinez overall. Because Martinez, for me, yes, you put him in our defence with Gabriel and William Saliba, he improves Arsenal's team, right? Even Ramsdale is doing very well this season. Yes, Ramsdale in the last couple of games has been a little bit shaky, but he is still a very, very top goalkeeper, Aaron Ramsdale. And when we first signed Aaron Ramsdale, right, for me, I wasn't keen on him. A lot of certain people gave him a chance, right? And I'm not going to name any individual names because we're on a channel. But however, right, I will say when Ramsdale was first signed, I wasn't keen on him because he already got relegated with 3 or 4 clubs, right? But he has done well, and Ramsdale, this was his second season at Arsenal, right? I believe. And I thought it was going to be a second season syndrome, but no, Ramsdale's come in and he still continued doing what he did last season. And I know he hasn't been good in the last few games, but he done quite good yesterday and kept a clean sheet. So Martinez is a very good keeper. And I know Martinez, as you said, that Martinez was linked to the big clubs like PSG and Bayern. If Martinez, you put him in a better defence right now, I guarantee you many goalkeepers, right, in the Premier League would want Emilio Martinez. Because think about it, would Manchester United want to go for Martinez? Maybe, or they might want to go for a better keeper than him. Is Martinez one of the best goalkeepers in the world? I certainly say yes, if you put him in the right team with a better quality defence. Not to disrespect Aston Villa, I think Villa have done well in some circumstances with their defence, but I don't think Villa haven't got the best defence in other the big clubs. But Carlos is a very good defender, and I haven't seen him much play, but sounds a good defender. But I know people like Mings and that have done well for Villa this season. But if you put Martinez, like Manny, here's a question to you, right? If
Yeah.
Martinez was in our team right now, would Arsenal be top of the league?
Yes, we would, because look, the only thing that Mark Ramsdale seems to have going well for him is that he plays well to Arteta's system where he wants quick distribution of the ball, whereas Martinez is more old school and takes a bit of time. But one thing
Mm.
which I notice about Ramsdale is that look, he's a decent shot stopper, but sometimes his decision making is has been found wanting at times. Like, let's take the Manchester City game. Stephen and I were having a right go of it when we were doing our stream together, and I basically told him that Ramsdale had a poor game and I was going to give him a 4, and he said, "No, I'm not having that. At least give
I
him a 5."
remember that.
And we, compromised and said, "Fine, let him get a standard 5." He wasn't really good, but maybe he wasn't bad. But I thought he was. The first goal, in as much as Tomiyasu played a poor pass, Ramsdale had no business rushing out to the edge of his goal, the penalty area, especially when the two central defenders were running back. And if Ramsdale doesn't rush out, he doesn't get chipped by De Bruyne. And then for the second goal, for example, there was a deflection by Tomiyasu, but because it didn't really deviate from the path, it just bubbled a bit over. Because Ramsdale has a bad habit of keeping his arms far away from his body when he dives, he leaves so many gaps through which the ball can go. As a goalkeeper, you actually want to make sure that you've got your hands more compact with your torso, and use your torso and your hands together to make yourself really big. Martinez does that perfectly. David Seaman did that perfectly. Ramsdale doesn't do that. And for the third goal as well, I thought his positioning was a little bit off for that third goal from Haaland, because there was a huge gap over there to Ramsdale's right, and Haaland just poked it in. And even then, sometimes he also doesn't fill me with much confidence when it comes to, raising himself high for set pieces. He doesn't catch it as cleanly as Martinez does, and sometimes he's forced to punch it away. And when you punch it away more often than not, you've got to get your punch absolutely spot on. Otherwise, it looks absolutely clumsy. So I would prefer Martinez. And you can learn to distribute well from the back. You can learn to be a little bit
Yeah,
quicker. And I think that is something you can learn. But when it comes to traditional shot stopping, those are things which you have to really know. And given that he's had so many goals pumped past him as a member of two relegated teams, you would think that he would learn to not leave too many gaps between his hands and his torso, or also between his legs. And I've seen him, concede goals between his legs. He's also nowhere near as good as one-on-ones as Martinez is, because he can be beaten very, very easily. It happened with Anthony at Old Trafford, for instance. So he has a long way to go. And people will say, well, yeah, he's 24. He has a long time to improve. But don't keep bigging him up and saying he's absolutely top class and then try and cover for him by saying, oh, well, he has time to improve and get better. Because to me, it reminds me a lot of Paul Robinson, who was, I think, he ended up going to Tottenham after Leeds. So that's another reason for us to hate him. And he didn't really kick on too well, especially after the 2006 World Cup, where despite keeping a few clean sheets, he was flapping everywhere corners and really making the defense completely uncomfortable. And he never really kicked on either to become the great keeper that everyone wanted him to be. So we've got to be careful with Ramsdale, and we have to accept that as good as he is, he's also lucky to be part of a team that's playing and executing the system well. And he still has a long way to go and improve himself, whereas Martinez is very much the complete package. If he can improve his distribution slightly, he would be, and I think he will be top class. And he's just turned 30. He'll be 31. Goalkeepers can play until their 40s, although he probably will end his international career at 38. So I'd pick Martinez over Ramsdale any day, but Ramsdale, to his credit, is doing what he needs to do. So I guess all's well that ends well.
100%. I do agree with you. Because the final thing I will say is Martinez, for me, right? He is a very good goalkeeper, and what I like about him, he's very, very commanding, and you've got to pick him over him because look, it is a bit disappointing that yes, we got rid of Martinez at the time, but at least we've actually got Aaron Ramsdale in, and like Matt Turner for me, right? Would Matt Turner do you like Matt Turner now? Because Matt Turner done well in that FA Cup game against Man City. But is Matt Turner going to get enough runnable games, or do you feel like Arsenal do need to go look for another goalkeeper?
No, we should stick with Turner. He was excellent for the US during the World Cup as well, and
Yeah,
he has grown into a more than decent goalkeeper who can command his
yeah,
defense well, who is decisive on crosses, who hasn't really put a foot wrong in the games that he's played. So he's an excellent understudy, and I certainly wouldn't mind seeing him play against Everton if we have to rotate. Although I probably would go with Ramsdale instead. But yeah, and I think before we move on, we are going to talk a little bit about Everton because they played the same a similar formation, except it was a 4-1-4-1. I think there was a piece on BBC Sport which said that their lack of goals will cost them. So it'll be interesting to see which striker they will play against us when we play against them. It could very well be that Gray might come off the bench, but neither he nor Maupay are in the best of form. Calvert-Lewin's still injured, so they've got problems. They can't seem to score either.
100%. I do agree, man.
Jack put up the Wolves. Now best Midlands is Aston Villa. Before
Yeah.
we got into the next game, of course, I just want to do my ratings. So, of course, I said Martino. I think I give him a 8.
Yeah, 8.
Matty Cash, I think he class. This is why I want him to start every single game. Villa fans are saying play him. He is a class right back. He can go forward. I'll probably give him a 7.5 for this. I think Matty Cash is just a class right back. We've signed him from Forest, of course. And yeah, I think 7.5 in my opinion.
World Cup
Concert,
star with Poland, so he and Kivior will know each other.
yeah. Concert, poor yet again. I'm gonna give him a 4. I just think he is having a poor season this season. Last season he was solid, but he's having a poor season now. Like Mings was solid last season and Concert was good. Now this season Mings is good and Concert is just crap. But yeah, Tyrone Mings, of course, great player. I'll probably give him more because he, of course, cleared one off the line. What I thought was going in. If you did see that, of course. I'm gonna give him a 7.5. Luca Digne, poor. I just don't think he's that good. I give him an average. I'll go 5. I just think he ain't good. Why we ain't playing Mourinho? Before that lineup came out, I was thinking, where's Coutinho? Where's Mourinho? But Coutinho was even in the squad because apparently he's injured for like 1
What,
month.
Coutinho's injured again?
Yeah, so
Jesus.
it's struggling for Aston Villa. But why did Mourinho not play for this? I want to swear. I'll just say this crap left back. Why does Mourinho not want to play? Why does Unai Emery have to play this crap left back? I don't care if it was against his old club. He made an own goal against his old club this season. I think he wanted to go back to Everton. That's why he made that own goal.
Once a toffee, always a toffee, eh?
Exactly.
But yeah, I think Luca Digne is crap in my opinion. And yeah.
Maybe you can try and take Kieran Tierney off our hands.
Oh no. John McGinn, man of the match. 10. John McGinn was man of the match in my opinion. John McGinn is just super.
He was terrific.
That's why people call him super, because he is super. He is the main man. He doesn't need Grealish. Talk about Grealish. He doesn't need Grealish. He can do it all on himself now. And yeah, I'll say 10. Douglas Luiz, of course, he scored past Arsenal this season from a corner. Because of course his goals
Well, he
is
scored a corner against Arsenal.
his
Yeah,
goals
that
is
one.
actually from
Yeah.
corners. That only part he scores. I'll give him like a middle. I'll give him maybe a 6.5. I think he was okay, but not great. Kamara, I think since he joined us at the start of the season, he has been class. I'm gonna go a 7 though.
You're gonna go with 7. What makes you think 7?
I just think, I don't know. He had been class this season, of course. Against Everton, he was just in the middle, to be fair. But I don't think no one was that like really good, if you know what I mean. So I think I'll go 7 for Kamara.
Fair enough.
Jacob Ramsey, I don't know. I think I'd rather have Aaron Ramsey at this club. I don't know with Jacob Ramsey anymore. Since that one past Norwich, like, was it last season or something, he hasn't been the greatest. I'm gonna go a 5.5. I'll give him like average, I just don't think he was that good. Leon Bailey, of course, again, not. He has pace, but he just can't finish. He look at Daniel Traore. You know where Daniel Traore from Wolves? He has pace, but he can't finish. That is Leon Bailey for you. I'll give him. I'm gonna give him a 9. I think. I know that's more what you was expecting, Manny, but I think I'll give him a 9. I just think he is a class player, to be fair.
Yeah,
Ollie
mate, I agree. He's absolutely talented. He's just a little bit inconsistent. I think you said that the reason why I'm a bit surprised now is because you said he had pace but couldn't finish. But why are you giving him a 9? Like, what exactly do you do to for you to give him a 9? I mean, he's a fine player, but what did he do yesterday?
Of course, he had 3 chances. What was actually hard. Like Ollie Watkins passed it through Leon Bailey, and he thought that Everton player got there. But normally Leon Bailey stops, but he actually went for it Like he goes for the players, and that what got me a bit good, because I think Leon Bailey is that player. He's a class player. He has pace, and yeah, I think I'll give him 9. Ollie Watkins then, 5 in 5. Ollie Watkins has more than Chelsea. Chelsea can't go alone.
Wait, is that a
Ollie
chant? Is that a chant?
Watkins. What?
Is that a chant?
No, I just made it up. It's a
Make
good
it up,
chant,
it
though,
might
isn't it?
work. No
Ali
worries, man.
Watkins, baby. He has more than Chelsea, baby. Ali Watkins has 5. Ali Watkins. But what did any of you see that penalty though?
Yes, I did. What did you think?
It was a class penalty.
I think it's a class penalty. Not
Oh
gonna
yeah,
lie.
yeah. I saw the penalty. I mean, he knew that Pickford was going to dive, so he blasted it high into the centre.
Yeah. I think I'll give him. I give him an 8.5. I think I think it was clear. Subs then, we only made 2 subs to be fair. Alex Moreno, I think he went forward more than didn't he? I'll give him like a 7, I think. And Bundy, with his goal, I'm gonna give him a 9.5, I think. But yeah, of course that's a win for Aston Villa. 5 points behind 7th down. Just before we move on to the next game, I'm gonna sing a song. We've got Super Emery. Exactly knows what we need. Ming sat a bat. Watkins in attack. Villa gonna get wobbly. Wait, that is a chant actually, but it goes like this. We've got Super Emery. Exactly knows what we need. Concert at a bat. Bailey in attack. Villa gonna get wobbly. But I've changed it. I'm putting Mings at a bat. Watkins in attack. Villa getting Rope League, and yeah, Danny Inks, where are you at, lad? I know most Villa fans still like ya, but mate, Ollie Watkins, class player. I don't care if you score 2 this weekend, because Ollie Watkins, great striker. But let's get into the next game then. Leeds 1, Southampton 0. I'll start with you. This one, Luca. What do you think of this?
I didn't quite see the game, but all I will say is about the result is that I think it's a good win for Leeds. I think it's quite damaging for Southampton's hopes, because Southampton is still yet to wait for a manager, in my opinion. But it's going to be interesting who wants the Southampton job, because he wants to come to a relegation team. Like, don't be surprised if someone like a Lampard takes the job, because if someone like that takes it, I guarantee you Southampton will be relegated. So, look, I think Southampton are going to get relegated. They've been in the Premier League since 2012, I believe. So, Leeds, a very, very important win. I think Leeds will stay up. I really do. A lot of people have had doubts of them lot going down, but I think Leeds will have enough. I think Leeds are going to stay up. Yes, they've lost quite a lot of players like Rafinha and Calvin Phillips, but I think Patrick Bamford, he's not been the same player as he's been. He's always injured, so I think it's a good win for Leeds.
We don't care about Bamford. Oh, mate. We don't care about Leeds. 1, 2, 3, 4. All we care about is AVFC.
Nice, man.
So I hate Bamford and I hate Leeds. Before we get on to you, man, then let me just talk about this. It says here, of course, that new player for Leeds, that Gantol, I think his name is, really good
Nonto,
player.
yes.
It says he had a yellow, not on pitch. So don't know what happened there, but yeah, good win for Leeds United, of course. Firpo, that was a class goal. I think, Southampton keeper should probably be safe in that, but it was a great run and a great shot from Firpo. Leeds are now 17th. I hope they go down, but will they? Southampton now at the bottom of the league. I can't see them winning any more games, man. If they lose in the FA Cup on this week against Grimsby Town, I'm gonna absolutely laugh my head off, because they've got Leicester on Saturday night. I think Leicester win that, in my opinion. I reckon Leicester will win that. Then they've got Manchester United. Man U win that. Easy. Brentford win that. Spurs win that. Then the big game against West Ham, maybe a draw. Or West Ham, depends. Then Man City win that. Then Palace win that. Then Arsenal win that. Then Bournemouth, I think they'll win that. Then Newcastle win that. Then Forest win that. Then Fulham win that. Then Brighton win that. And last game of season, Liverpool win that. They'll be getting one win till the end of all season now. They'll be getting one win, and that be against Bournemouth. But yeah, a great win for Leeds, to be fair.
Even that's doubtful. I think Bournemouth have enough about them to try and stay up if they can just sort out their defensive issues.
Yeah.
Southampton look doomed.
Yeah, Leeds are actually good at home, to be fair. Southampton only picked up 6 points away at home this season. That means they've only picked up probably 2 wins this season at home.
Yeah.
Then the away form is 13th. They're better away than home. But Manny, what do you think of this game anyway?
Yeah, I mean, there's really nothing much to say, really. Leeds are doing what they have to do. Ever since sacking Jesse Marsch, they seem to have, turned a little bit of a corner. Whether that's a new manager bounce or the new manager actually doing a decent job, I'm not really too sure. But Leeds do have enough about them to make sure they do stay up, and they did stay up last season, albeit by the skin of their teeth and at Burnley's expense. But they seem to love making life difficult for themselves. In Gnonto, they've got an absolute baller. Let me tell you that right now. He's a star for Italy, and with his pace, he unsettles defenses a great deal. And Leeds are very lucky to have him, because without him, I'm not too sure where they'd be right now. And I think they still have a few players, sick. If those players can at least, come back and maybe improve the squad a little bit, then we should see Leeds hopefully, staying clear enough above the relegation zone to say that they're not really in much danger. But it is still looking quite difficult for them, and they are going to have to make sure they get a few more results. But as for Southampton, I'm sorry, but they're, this team is putting the South in Southampton. And we've seen Southampton get relegated before, and they find it difficult to come back. So I think Bazunu's been one of their more consistent players, but I wouldn't go so far to say that he's been their player of the season, because there are some aspects to his play that I don't quite like. Without Ward-Prowse, I mean, where would they be? You could just imagine. So I think they're doomed. I'm sorry to say this, they are doomed.
I know, I think you did as well, Luca. I put them
Yes.
off the league. Anyway,
Where did I put Southampton in the league?
I think you put them 19th or bottom.
Yeah, I think I did. Yeah.
So next game then is the mighty. Well, actually, I don't want to say that. The crappiest club in the Midlands, Leicester City, and the best team in North London at the minute, Arsenal. Leicester City 0, Arsenal 1. I'll start with you, Manny. What do you think of this game then?
Yeah, this is the sort of a game which can sort of divide opinion. I mean, am I happy with the 3 points? Absolutely. But when you take a look at it, we had an opportunity, Bailey, to really, put them to the sword, given that they didn't have Maddison in the squad at all because he was ill or injured or whatever. They only had Tielemans and Vardy coming off the bench. We didn't even give them a single shot on goal, really. And
no, definitely. Before we speak, I'm pretty sure they only had 1 shot all game, and you had about 10.
Yeah, so that pretty much sums it all up, doesn't it? I mean, we completely dominated them, and we should have had more goals. I still see a lot of people clinging to the excuse that Leandro Trossard's goal should have counted because you can't. They say that in the contact sport, you can't just have an infringement, but harshly punish Ben White for what he did, but I disagree. And this sort of segues into an issue that certain players have to be smart. I get that it's a contact sport, but you can't keep using that chestnut to justify doing something stupid. Holding on to Danny Ward's hand like that at his wrist, preventing him from moving, because if he had left Ward's wrist alone, he would have been able to get enough momentum within the time to jump and try and make a cleaner punch, or maybe even catch it. But his punch was sort of awkward, and White was quite correctly deemed to have impeded him. So that was the right call. And just like Martin Odegaard's stupid push on Christian Eriksen at Old Trafford, which led to the Martinelli goal being disallowed seconds later, sometimes players have got to have street smarts, and when you don't have street smarts, you really are stupid. At this level, you've got to be street smart as a player, and White showed a lack of street smarts in that instant. Saka's goal being disallowed for offside, the right call. I'm glad that Martinelli scored, but we should have put a little bit more daylight between ourselves and Leicester, and we failed to do that. Having said that, given that we got the 3 points and we still have a chance to extend our lead to 5 points, albeit no longer with a game in hand once we play Everton, I'm not about to look a gift horse in its mouth. But we still need to up our tempo. We still have to make sure that we are more clinical. And at least by replacing Eddie Nketiah with Leandro Trossard, we've taken the first step. And long may that continue. If I never see Eddie Nketiah in the starting lineup between now and the end of the season, especially with Gabby Jesus coming back, it will be too soon.
Yeah, I agree. Luca?
For me, I think the first half, we started very, very, very well. And I think, quite frankly, Trossard's goal for me, as I mentioned on my match reaction, I personally thought that the goal should have stood. But because I genuinely thought, look, when you look at the foul from the Ben White situation, I literally just thought at first when I saw the game yesterday, when I watched it back, I generally thought the goal should have stood because I didn't see any contact. I went to go back and watched it a couple of times. Maybe there was a bit of contact, but no. About the game, look, I think it was a really good performance. We should have had a penalty, in my opinion. Saka for me was offside. I thought man of the match was, well, first I thought it was Gabriel, but personally I think Jorginho. I thought Jorginho was fantastic in my opinion. I think
Luca, you only said Jorginho because me and Manny said it.
Not really, mate.
We came on and changed your mind, son.
Yeah,
Well, we did. As Stephen would have said, the trouble is he would have said the same thing to me. But the trouble is, look, I went for Gabriel at first because I think he was quite good, in my opinion. But no, Jorginho had a good game yesterday. I think Jorginho was fantastic, and when we first signed him, I wanted Moise Caicedo, but however, Jorginho for me, he's proven me wrong so far, and it's how is he going to keep it up? And think about who we've played, because yes, Jorginho had a good game against Man City. He was probably only best player on the pitch, but however, Trossard done very well. He looks very good for Arsenal, for Mikel Arteta, and I think going into the Everton game now is a massive game now because if we win that, we'll be 5 points clear, and for me, it gives us a really good position going into the Bournemouth game because Man City play Newcastle. It's a shame it's not at St James's Park and it's at the Etihad, but Man City are playing Newcastle at the right time, but you never know. Newcastle could get something out of that game. You don't know, but Newcastle today, but Newcastle were poor in that Carabao Cup final. The fans were brilliant, but players they were poor today.
Wait, whoa.
No, they were poor today. I'm sorry, but
whoa. We're gonna have to talk here. I think Newcastle was better than Manchester United in that final.
in the first half, yeah.
Man U
In the first 20-25 minutes before Manchester United scored their goal, I think Newcastle were good.
I don't think United was good after their goal. I think they was really rubbish.
I do think they will. I think Newcastle were poor today.
Nah, I think they
don't think they went up for it.
I think even United fans saying Newcastle were better, but a win is a win, is it? Right. You just talk for 1 more minute, right? I'm doing something.
But no, going back to the Arsenal game, look, in my opinion, right, I think Everton becomes a massive game, and I said this on the channel earlier. Look, I generally think we need to make quite a few changes. I'll drop Martin Odegaard. I'd 100% start Fabio Vieira in this game because it's an opportunity Vieira to get some minutes. Yes, he does need to bulk up a little bit, and Vieira for me, it's an opportunity for him to get some minutes. And yes, it's a massive game. I know Mikel Arteta might look at that and thinking, right, do we drop Martin Odegaard now? And if I was Arteta's situation, I would drop Martin Odegaard. But look, I would start Vieira on Wednesday against Everton. I think I'll give him an opportunity. It's midweek. We need to rotate a little bit. Yes, we've got Partey coming back. Yes, we've got Jesus coming back, but he's not fit yet. Smith Rowe is still not back yet, but however, we've got players coming back slowly. So therefore, we want to get a fully fit squad in time. So hopefully, it gives us an opportunity, gives us a good balance in the team. If we can keep winning and winning and winning before we do play those big teams in April towards the end of the season, last 10 games of the season. So technically, it's going to be a big test, and we're 5 points clear at the moment. No, we're 2 points clear at the moment. If we could beat Everton on Wednesday, we'll be 5 points clear. And we just need to keep worrying about ourselves and just keep doing what we're doing. But overall, happy with the 3 points. Moving on to Everton on Wednesday night.
When you get battered.
Well, what about you, Villa? Who have Villa got next? Fulham.
Crystal Palace, actually.
Where at? Villa Park.
Yeah.
Yeah, you should win that. Hopefully.
It'll be
I think you
difficult.
do.
It'll be difficult.
It will be difficult
To be honest,
because
we'll get on to a Crystal Palace game, but I think they played well against Liverpool, to be fair. But we'll get on to it. Right. Next game then. Hammers 4. Nottingham Forest 0.
I was very shocked about that. I actually thought Forest were going to pull a result out of here.
Same.
I can't believe I said
Guess what,
that.
lads? Guess what? Daddy Iggs. Daddy Iggs. Na 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 na. Daddy Iggs. Daddy Iggs.
You know, my personal favourite here would be Danny Ings.
I like
Danny Ings. If you're a fan of Boney M, you'll know that song.
Jarrett Bowen. Bowen's on fire. Your defence is terrified. But yeah, really good win, of course. Danny's picking up with 2 goals. Declan Rice, Antonio, lad. They're all scoring. Lovely goal from Declan Rice, though. Lovely goal. But yeah, 4-0 win to the Hammers. Of course, West Ham, you know, Danny Ings, of course, starting in his first game, scoring 2. Took him off when he had that second goal. Are you having a laugh, David Moyes? David Moyes has to go. I'm sorry, taking a player off who scored 2 goals. Let him get his hat-trick now. Why did you not let him get his hat-trick? I am angry at David Moyes, lad.
I'll tell you why. Because if you allow a player to make his home debut, he gets a hat-trick. He has all the headlines. What more does he achieve afterwards? Sometimes you've got to withhold these things from players because it keeps them motivated for something even bigger. It's what Guardiola does with Haaland sometimes.
Yeah, okay. Right. Are Forest going down? I just want a yes or no. We'll start with Manny. Yes?
No. They're not going down. They have enough about them to eke out wins when they need to. I think it's fair to say though that the whole Keylor and Navas honeymoon.
Safe, though.
Agreed, but they are high enough off the table, and their signings have been working quite well. Seeing the way they played against Manchester City, holding them to a draw, which did us the best favour possible.
Oh,
I'm
I'm sorry, but Forest are just one of them teams where they go to Manchester City, get a point, then bloody lose against the Irons who bubbles. Are you having a laugh? You go and get battered by the Hammers.
Mate, come on. You know as well as we all do that there are no easy games in the Premiership. And listen, Forest, I think it was a game where things just went badly wrong. And it was sort of back to the bad old days at the beginning of the season when Henderson was in goal and leaking them left, right, and centre. Now he's out for a long time. Does Steve Cooper bite the bullet and bring Wayne Hennessy back in? It'll remain to be seen. But look, they have enough good, decent outfield players to be able to make sure they stay up. So no, they're not going down. I actually had them staying comfortably up in mid-table. Of course, I was afraid when they were going through that horrible run. But when they made that magnificent recovery, I think, credit to them where it's due. They should be able to have enough about them to stay up. But they do have a penchant for making life difficult for themselves, as a lot of other clubs in their position do.
Yeah, Luca, yes or no?
I agree with you, in my opinion. I think Forest are going to stay up this season. I'm quite surprised. I had them going down.
I didn't, and you laughed at me, Luca. Well, you were
No,
laughing
I
down.
couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, I did add them to actually finish 16th. So I'll take that, I knew Forest would stay up. They've got a class team like Brendan Johnson. They've got a great team, Gibbs White as well. So yeah, of course a good win for West Ham. And are West Ham going down? That, in my opinion, yes or no, Manny?
No, like Forest, they should have enough about them to stay up. But then, like I said about Forest, why do these Hammers teams love making life difficult for themselves? Last season they were outstanding and pushing for Europe, but I think it took a toll on them this season. And yeah, they're struggling, but they will be fine. But Moyes is, not exactly everyone's cup of tea, and I think there's a reason for that.
Yeah, Luca?
For me, I think Moyes should have gone a very long time ago, in my opinion. There was a lot of West Ham fans wanting him out, but West Ham, of course, did get a 4-0 win over Nottingham Forest. They did, of course, lose to Tottenham last week, but I just feel with Moyes, I think he's tied up for West Ham. I really do, because I think he needs to go, in my opinion. I think West Ham, like, people were talking about West Ham top 4 contenders last season until we played them. But from there, they've just not been the same team. Like, do you feel West Ham on paper with a better manager can finish higher than as possible?
I'm sorry, but David Moyes, yeah, I know he should have gone a long time ago. He's been at a club for years now, a couple of years. He is a solid manager, in my opinion. I think, yes, they should be getting a new manager in now because time is up. But getting them to the Conference League and all that, I think he is a solid manager. Of course, came from Man United. Yeah, in my opinion, I think they should be looking to get a new manager now. But Cameron Keylor Navas is probably Forest's best player at the moment. Probably agree, to be fair. Not against West Ham, no. But
Yeah.
maybe Melody as well. Great left back. Yeah. Everyone, they ain't joining tonight, lads, because they're all watching the fight. Tommy Furby,
They are,
of course,
man.
beating
Who's winning that?
Tommy Furby is beating Jake Paul at a minute. I think
Good.
Tommy Furby got 2 wins and Jake Paul got 1.
What a joke! I mean, seriously, I think it's fair to say that ever since Lennox Lewis retired, the whole boxing lark has sort of lost its,
Yeah.
significance or meaning. I mean, don't get me wrong, Tyson Fury is a fine champion, as is Alexander Usyk from the Ukraine. Joshua really needs to add a lot more steel to him and really, get his act together in order to avoid being, another potential Audley Harrison. I mean, no disrespect to Joshua, but he needs to really buck himself up and really, get his act together. But I don't think there's anyone in the division that really, makes me think, whoa, I need to watch some boxing. And it's a decent sport, and there's a lot of technicality to it, but I think it's just become a sideshow, really.
But everyone watching the fight, yeah. I wanted to watch it, but I ain't paying paying for it because it's too much. But I think everyone is watching it because they expected it to be a great fight. I expected Tommy Fury to knock out Jake Paul by now, but he hasn't.
Jake Paul isn't even the professional fighter, as far as I can tell. I mean, this fight can only go one way.
How many rounds is it?
It's 8 rounds. They're on their 7th round at a minute.
Wow.
If anyone in the comments, let us know who's winning that fight, because I actually want to know. I'm gonna actually text someone who's watching.
Is it not shown on YouTube?
No. You have to pay for it to watch it.
How much?
I think it's about 20-30 quid.
Jesus.
Yeah. Not worth it. Not for a fight, but against a YouTuber.
I do hope Tommy Fury wins because he's just I don't like Jake Paul. But right, shall I get on to the next game?
Yeah,
by all means.
Next game then, it is Bournemouth 1, Manchester City 4. Then 4-1 win to Manchester City. Then class win. Bournemouth actually started the game okay, but then when City went 1-0, it was all City. But second half, I think Bournemouth was better. I think they had chances. But 4-1 win to City. I'll start with Luca for this one. What do you think?
Very good, convincing win for Man City. I think Man City shown what the champions are, because technically they're 2 points behind us. With us got a game in hand on Wednesday, which puts us to 5 points potentially. Hopefully, fingers crossed. Good performance. I think Bournemouth are very bad at the moment. I think they're going to go down. Bournemouth, for me, I think they had a period where Bournemouth, I don't know, Manny, like Bournemouth had a period where they were out of the relegation, and now they've kind of like gone very bad. But I don't think they'll stay up this season. But Man City, for me, too much quality in this game. I thought Man City were fantastic. Will Man City win the league?
Yeah.
What?
So Tommy Fury won the fight.
What, in the 8th round?
Yeah. Come on, you won it all.
That Paul fighter, mate. The same as Paul Logan. They're not fighters, man. But no, anyway. Man City for me. Will they win the league? I don't want to say anything just too yet, mate. But for me, it's maybe yes. But depending what we do, mate, we just need to keep winning and winning and win. But Man City for me, they're not the Man City of dominance. They were always going to score 4 against Bournemouth because Bournemouth are just too rubbish. And I think I don't want to get into too much detail about Man City, but all I will say is I want to focus on Bournemouth. I feel Bournemouth are going to go down this season. I just think they just can see too many goals. They don't have a very good defence. Like, is their striker Kiefer Moore someone?
Right. Yeah, and can I just say something before you get on to actually Bournemouth? Graham Potter has went out on this, and I think this was a bit harsh, him saying this.
Yeah.
I didn't expect him to say this, but he put, I haven't done enough at this club to have too much good faith. To be honest, would I will keep Potter for longer, only because they haven't had a pre-season with him yet.
Really?
Do you guys agree?
Well, I think Potter needs to go, in my opinion. I just don't think he's not the answer for Chelsea, in my opinion. I just don't think he's not. Look, Steven said this to me before, and he used to say to me, right, Potter needs to be given a chance and all that stuff. And I had my disagreements, right? But look, no one expected Potter to be good enough to be in a big team, right? But now I just don't think. Look, on paper, Chelsea have a very good squad, right? But is this? I've got a question to you, Manny. Right? On paper, when you look at that Chelsea team, Felix, Sterling, Mudryk, Aubameyang, all these players, right? If you put a different manager, right? Where would Chelsea be with that squad?
A different manager would make changes to the squad and get rid of the players who aren't quite performing. And, Aubameyang, for instance, hasn't done badly at Chelsea, despite what a lot of people will think. In the Champions League, he has been one of their better players, in fact.
Yes.
And so you wouldn't want to, just drop him from the Champions League squad by virtue of a technicality because you suddenly have a more bloated forward line and say, that's the way the cookie crumbles and all that nonsense. So a better manager would understand which players deserve to be in the squad on merit and which players will have to, fight for their place. But it looks as though Aubameyang is the victim of politics again. And I'm sick and tired of a lot of Arsenal fans mugging him off as well, saying that once a bad egg, always a bad egg. He wasn't a bad egg at Arsenal. He had problems with timekeeping and he deserved to lose the captaincy. But was he that bad that he had to be exiled from the squad completely? I mean, we still don't know exactly what happened. And yet people just love to, whack him and say he's a has-been and we don't need him anymore. I'll bet you if he has a midfield that provides him the same service that he got at Barcelona, he'd do a good job for us. For a job for any team.
Maybe because what you honestly think he'll do well at a better job at Barcelona?
He did. I mean, he was there at Barcelona, scored 11 and 7, torched Real Madrid at the Bernabeu at 17, torched Real Madrid at the Bernabeu. He had a good midfield that was working brilliantly for him. So
why is he
that
not
answers your
working for
question.
Chelsea?
But well, because again, it was a question of him not getting the service. Sometimes luck wasn't on his side. Against Salzburg in the Champions League, he had an assist and he hit the bar. He should have scored, but couldn't. Was unlucky not to. And again, it's like when he played in the Europa League semi-final second leg, he hit the post twice, and then Arteta took him off and replaced him with Willian. So that sort of sums it up. But back to the question, yes, a better manager would find a way to solve the problems that are there and just get rid of players who are underperforming. And that means Mason Mount and Kai Havertz, if they're not delivering the goods, out they go. Simple as that. And back to this game, Bournemouth and Manchester City. Yes, Bournemouth did look good, but it's another reminder that you cannot simply try to beat Manchester City by trying to play expansive football, especially if you've got so many issues in your defense like Bournemouth have. I still think they do have enough about them to possibly win a few games, but it is going to be very, very difficult for them. And because I work with a Bournemouth fan channel as well, there's a part of me that would love them to stay up, but all I can say is it's going to be very, very difficult for them. And I do think, sadly, if they don't get their act together, they could go down.
Yeah, maybe.
How long is Thiago Silva out for? Because that will be a big miss. Yeah, I agree. I will have a look how long he's out for now. Right, to be honest, it says here he ain't actually out yet. They haven't actually confirmed he will be out for.
Really?
Because he hasn't really had a knock. He had a knock, but not like that bad. And he only went off in the first half. So if he went off late in the second half, then it might have been a big deal. But yeah. So of course, yeah, big win for City there. Next game then, Crystal Palace 0, Liverpool 0. I watched this game. It was chances for both teams, of course. I think Liverpool had a couple, Crystal Palace had a couple. I think Crystal Palace had a corner in the 90th minute when the referee blew the whistle on the corner. Why would you do that? Like, Crystal Palace players was having to go at a referee and all that. You don't blow your whistle when a corner is about to be taken. I'm sorry, but that is pathetic. But
I disagree with that, and I'll tell you why. Because there was an occasion in the 2016 Euros when Karim Benzema was through one goal and could have scored, but immediately a second after the whistle was blown, he had the ball in the net, and the goal was disallowed. I think the referees are under pressure to make sure that 90 minutes are played to the point, and that means that when you calculate the stoppage time that has to be played, everything has to add up to 90 minutes, no more, no less. So it could very well be that maybe common sense could have dictated that he could have allowed the corner to be played, but maybe he looked at his watch and thought, sometimes I have to. In this case, allowing that corner would have been, against the rules specifically, and if they've been given an edict that they have to finish the match in 90 minutes, no more, no less, then I can't blame the referee. It's unfortunate, it's sad, but that is the way it is.
Yeah, of course, getting back to the game, of course, Crystal Palace had chances. Liverpool did as well. I think it was a bit okay game, to be fair. I think not a greatest, but okay, of course. Crystal Palace didn't even have a shot on target all game, by the way. What wasn't good. Of course, Crystal Palace had 6 shots, 0 on target. Liverpool had 12 shots, 4 on target. So not good, but I think Liverpool, they've got 2 clean sheets in a row now. Wait, 3 clean sheets in a row. So they are making their defense stronger. But yeah, good 0-0 here. Luca?
Look, for me, I didn't watch the game, but all I will say is I think it's a bad result for Liverpool because how many points did Liverpool have top 4?
I will have a look for you now. Keep talking and I'll tell you.
Yeah, no worries, mate. But I think the bad thing for Liverpool is I just feel like with Liverpool, they're a bit inconsistent. The problem with Liverpool is, yes, they've got all their players coming back, but they're just aging a little bit. The midfield are just too slow, and they're not the same team as they were. And Jordan Henderson, Milner, all these get rid of these players, man. Seriously, they're old. Keita, of course, needs to go.
They're 9 points up for.
It's still doable. Liverpool got a game in hand on Wednesday. If they can win that, it'd be 6, and then they've got to play Manchester United. For me, I think they'll beat Wolves on Wednesday, but they ain't beating Manchester United because Manchester United are on fire at the moment. And for me, I think United will beat Liverpool at Anfield. I really do, but I know Liverpool haven't lost many home games this season in the Premier League. I think they only lost Premier League home game they lost. I'm not going to include the Champions League, but I think the last home game they lost was the one when they lost against Leeds in the Premier League. So
yeah, that was the only home Premiership loss they had this season.
Yeah, so Liverpool, despite they've been so shit, they're quite good at home. So in league form, so I think they'll beat Wolves, but I don't think they'll beat Man United. I really don't, because United are on fire at the moment. But I think the problem with Liverpool is people saying sack Jurgen Klopp. Why would you want to sack Jurgen Klopp? Who are you really going to get in as a replacement?
I mean, I personally think that this should be Klopp's last season at the club. He's done his dash, and I think things have just... If you take a look at the way his managerial stint at Borussia Dortmund ended, it was sort of the same thing. Dreadful start to the season, great recovery, decent enough finish under the circumstances, but it was a sign that, he pretty much had done his dash at the club and he had to go. And I think it's sort of that 7-year period, if you will, I think it's sort of come to fruition. So, yeah, that's sort of the way it is with Klopp. And I think Liverpool should have used this as an opportunity to try to build on their recent Premiership form. I agree that beating, Everton and who else did they beat? completely forgot.
Newcastle.
Yeah, beating Newcastle, a Newcastle team which is struggling to score, isn't exactly form, but they are showing signs that they are at least serious enough about improving their league position. And this draw is in every way a bit of a setback. And Crystal Palace and Patches looked much the better team, and they could look at this result as 2 points dropped as well. A good two teams cancel each other out, but I'd be more happy as a Crystal Palace supporter than a Liverpool supporter. So Liverpool still have some work to do.
Yeah, I do agree. Look, they've got a lot of work to do, but I think it's going to be interesting, Manny, how Liverpool are going to react in the summer because they're linked with Bellingham and Mason Mount and people like that. Look, Mount at Liverpool doesn't work, but maybe a squad player. But it's going to be interesting if Liverpool can refresh their midfield up and just get some new ideas and get some new players. Because if Liverpool did get rid of Jurgen Klopp, who realistically can take that Liverpool job back to where they want to be?
It's hard to say. I think we're just going to have to wait until the end of the season, then we'll make our discussions. But I think some of the names who could probably be touted out as a replacement, they're not exactly doing too well with their current clubs either. I look at Diego Simeone with Atletico Madrid as an example of that. And, it is very, very hard to see who could improve the team. Would they want another German manager of that ilk, or do they decide to go for another foreign manager, or maybe back to because I think it's fair to say that given how the likes of Dalglish and Hodgson have fared, another English manager isn't really high on their list of priorities, nor would another British manager be for that matter.
Yeah, but you can say that because I would personally think, you don't think someone like Simeone would not get the job?
I think Simeone is pretty much struggling right now, and I think he's being found out.
You reckon?
Right. So yeah, that was of course a good point. Next game then, it is of course Spurs 2, Chelsea 0. Then of course a really good win for Spurs. I'm just gonna copy Spurs. Of course, I'll sing that song what I did earlier in a minute, but I'm gonna copy Spurs fans and sing Chelsea get battered everywhere they go. Chelsea get battered everywhere they go. And I'm gonna sing this song now. What I sent to you guys. Ollie Watkins, he scores 5. He scores more than Chelsea. Ollie Watkins, he scores 5 in 5. He scores more than Chelsea. Ollie Watkins. Great win for Spurs. And now Spurs, could they be getting top 4? Because they are actually playing good. Nice goal from Harry Kane, and what a goal from Skip. I'm sorry. That goal from Skip. But, yeah, of course, Spurs, they're 4 points behind third now. So, yeah, we'll see. What do you think, Luca?
Look, for me, I think it was a good performance by Tottenham. I'm not surprised Chelsea lost. They look at a complete mess. I think the pressure for Graham Potter is now pretty much doom. I see that they're linked with Pochettino. Zidane's been mentioned. I can't see Zidane going Chelsea. Because if that happened, then why would it happen now? More likely to be in the summer. I think if they can get Poch, look, I don't know why Chelsea keep going for managers like ex-Tottenham managers. I just don't see why it will work out, in my opinion. So that's the thing. But I just feel with Poch, yes, he never won anything at Spurs. Yes, he took Spurs to a European final. But I just feel that why are Chelsea going for Premier League managers like every single ex-Tottenham manager? Like you see Mourinho, Chelsea, Tottenham, Conte, Chelsea, Tottenham, and potentially Pot. Chelsea needs someone like a Zidane, but that's more going to lead up until the summer and next season. Maybe if you get someone short term, until the end of the season, maybe it'll work because we know that Chelsea ain't going to get European football.
Ollie Watkins scores
That's
5.
the thing, isn't it? That's what I think.
Yep, Ollie Watkins scores 5. 5 more than Chelsea. Ollie Watkins. So lads, I've got that in my head. I should start that, when I'm at a Villa game, I should start that. But Manny.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing to say about Chelsea. They literally are in trouble. I remember saying that if Graham Potter lost, he would be sacked, and a lot of people are saying that he really has to go, and I don't see them going anywhere fast. And I think a lot of people are happy to sort of write off this season and wait until it finishes, but then sort of like let Graham Potter have a bit of a clear out. But his level really is in coaching teams that will punch above their weight. I think he's just very sadly, out of his depth at Chelsea. And those people who are saying, no, we've got to trust the process. Graham is a smart manager. He is a smart manager. But I'm sorry, he's just in over his head. How he took the job, he should very well have stayed at Brighton, where he was building something magnificent and where De Zerbi is continuing the good work and deservedly earning all the plaudits. Graham Potter will be looking back and thinking, you know what? I made a mistake.
Yeah, great.
But when do you think Potter will get sacked? Because there's rumours going around that they're saying that he might get sacked tomorrow.
Well, to be honest, in my opinion, we'll wait and see, won't we? Another manager, of course, was sacked one day after another week was the loads of managers getting sacked in different leagues now, of course. Oxford sacked their manager, of course. I think it was yesterday. And yeah, of course, Leeds, of course, sacked their manager a couple of weeks ago. Southampton. So yeah, loads of teams sacking managers now. We'll wait and see if Potter goes. Who are we going to bring in? In my opinion, I'll go back in for Tuchel.
That's a good shout, but
imagine Tuchel against Conte again. But because I know Chelsea fans want Tuchel back, but we'll see. And the last one now, I just want to say Manchester United 2, Newcastle United 0. Cup final. I think Newcastle was the better team. Luca thinks Man U was, but Luca. I'll start with Manny actually. What do you think, Manny?
Yeah, I didn't see that game because I didn't get coverage of that. Sadly, over here, all I get is coverage of the Premiership and the FA Cup, and then of course, obviously, the European competitions. Again, Newcastle United were always going to be up against it when Eddie Pope was suspended. But it's also fair to say that not even Pope would have had much chance with that relentless Manchester United team. So, yeah, just simple as that. It was.
I don't think the Newcastle goalkeeper actually did anything wrong. Don't think he could have saved both goals, to be fair.
Yeah, he didn't do much wrong. That's the thing. And he actually made some decent saves later on. But, United were always going to be the favourites, and they lived up to that. And that's pretty much how it is.
Yeah, of course. It says for a stats here. This is why I think Newcastle was the better team. I'm sorry, Luca. But Manchester United had 14 shots, 10 on target. Yes, they had more on target. Newcastle had 15 shots, 2 on target. Man United had 38% off the ball. Newcastle had 62% off the ball. Newcastle could have got something here and took it to extra time today. But what do you think, Luca?
Luca, you there?
Luca.
He's muted.
Oh, sorry, my bad. I'm muted. But no, look, I do think with Newcastle, I do think they were the better team at the beginning of the game. They had a lot of possession, but in my opinion, I thought Manchester United, for me, dominated most of that game until Man United scored, because Botman scoring that own goal, I actually thought it came off Marcus Rashford, in my opinion, but it clearly didn't. But I think when Man United scored, they were dominating. And I know Newcastle at times tried to create chances, but I just feel like I don't even think they weren't that great in the second half. I really didn't. I thought Man United were the better team. They had so many chances in that game, and they had chances to seal the game off and try and potentially get a third. It could have been worse, like for Newcastle. And like, don't get me wrong. Like, I hear people say on Twitter and other people say, "Are Newcastle ready to win trophies and all that stuff?" Look, no one expected Newcastle to get to a cup final this season, right? And when you do get a takeover like that, it's not going to happen straight away, right? Okay, Newcastle going to go and win big things straight away. It's like, say if Manchester United get rid of the Glazers at the end of the season, right? Which is, I think the Glazers will go at the end of the season, right? But if they do get bought out by Radcliffe or Qatar or anyone like that, then potentially people are going to say, oh, yeah, with the squad what Man United got, add a few players, Man United will be a serious team. Not necessarily, because I think Newcastle, right, in my opinion, yes, they don't have a better squad than Manchester United. Manchester United have world-class players now. But however, I think Newcastle will get better, right? But I think it's going to take quite a couple of seasons to be up there. I think they'll get Europe this season, right? I still think they'll get Champions League football. I think Tottenham are going to bottle it, in my opinion. So I think Newcastle will get fourth, in my
No,
opinion. But
no.
okay, if you say so.
You've tonight, Luca. I think you're on the beers already, lad.
You
I
think I'm
think,
being deluded now?
I think,
Wait,
I
Luke
think,
is Italian. He doesn't like beer.
What makes you say that?
I'm just joking. I've seen one of your reels where you were sipping a beer to the tune of Electric Dreams. So yeah, I
Yeah,
remember that.
yeah.
but yeah, no, I think Newcastle. I don't think they'll get top four. I think Spurs will. I think it'll be. I'm gonna go Arsenal top of. No, I'm gonna go. Yeah, I'm gonna go Arsenal top of the league. Manchester United second. Man City third, and Spurs fourth. That is my top four. I think
Fair enough.
United will get. I think United finish ahead of City this season.
Wow, you reckon?
Yeah, I really do. I think they're in better form than City at a minute, and I know they don't have to play against each other, but if you beat City, United keep winning. United can actually do it.
We'll
I
find
think
out, mate, in the next 14 games.
they have a chance to win this league as well.
They
Anything
do.
can happen.
Yeah,
But
of course. But they
yeah,
got a
of
game
course.
in hand, and we got a game in hand. So
Yeah, we have been live for about 2 hours, guys. Well, 1 hour and 24 minutes. So we're going to wrap this up now. Manny, where can they? Oh, sorry, Manny. Where can they find you?
Yeah, well, if people want to find me, they can find me on Bailey Francis TV. Always enjoy doing streams with him. Pretty good content, good discussions, and yeah. In addition to Bailey, you can find me on several other channels: Del Boy Gunner TV, S Featley TV, Oris Talks Football, Coach's Corner with Hanno Trollope, Tony Claude Gunner TV, Danny AFC TV, Up the Cherries in all departments of Bournemouth Fan Channel, AFC Talk Show with MK the Don and Flair. Two really good guys themselves. Also, Eugen Spurs Asia TV, and there are several other channels which I can't really think of right now. Big up as well to Luca, because I was on his channel earlier today before coming on Bailey's, and I do like being a part of this, YouTube football podcast community. I want to try and make sure that there isn't that much in terms of toxicity when it comes to our discussions. We're here to, enjoy the game. Our rivalries just add an extra dimension. But at the end of the day, football is just a game. Humanity is the big thing. And we need to learn to respect one another and treat each other better, especially with everything that's going on in the world. Let's just be nicer to one another. And life's too short. It's as simple as that. Instagram, you can catch me on Manny Thangadurai 1981. That's my Instagram handle. And my Twitter handle is Thangadurai 1981. Full name and year of birth, surname and year of birth. That's where you'll find me. And thanks once again to Bailey. Big up to Luca. It was good to have a more relaxing Sunday night discussion. You need to go to sleep, both of you. It's late, and I know you got work or school on Monday tomorrow. But thanks a lot for having me on. And to the rest of you, thanks a lot for contributing by watching the video and leaving comments. You make the stream and the channel everything it is. Take care of yourselves. Enjoy yourselves. Have a good week ahead. Don't do anything the three of us wouldn't do. And I need to head off to bed too.
Right, Luca. Oh, I did the same thing.
Yeah, no worries, mate. Subscribe
Right.
to my YouTube channel. Of course, my YouTube channel is Luke AFC. Of course, we're 36 away from 2,800. So, if we can really, if someone can give me a massive shout and can help me grow my channel, that'd be absolutely fantastic, and I'll do the same to you. Of course, yes, we just did a match reaction for the Leicester game. I've just scheduled the Everton preview for the upcoming game on Wednesday. The preview is on Tuesday, 8 p.m. So go and have a look at my community tab. I still have 3 or 4 streams to do, but I will schedule them tomorrow. Don't worry about that. And you'll see me upload on Tuesday. So make sure you go and subscribe to my channel, Luca AFC, and Twitter feed is Martinelli AFC1, Instagram official_Luca_Arsenal content. So please do follow on those 3 platforms and my YouTube channel, and get subscribing. Thank you very much, Bailey, for another Sunday podcast.
Yeah. So of course, subscribe to this channel. Of course, 35 subs, and subscribe to my main, please. I'm 3 away from 100. Let's get to 100 subs then, because it is, well, on Saturday it will be my birthday in a month. A month on Saturday, not on Saturday, but a month on Saturday. That will have to get out. But so yeah, of course, get me to 100 subs. It will probably be more live streams on this channel this week, and of course more videos on my main. And this week, of course, I haven't been on YouTube probably for a week now, but we're gonna start doing it again. And yeah, so thanks Manny, thanks Luca. Hopefully get you on, Manny. You hopefully get both of you on for predictions again or something. But yeah, big up people, and thanks for joining.